Today I'm putting 3 chicken burgers head to head to head. One made from breast, one made from thigh, and a homemade patty. I'll be grilling all 3 to find out which makes the best chicken burger. I'll also show you how to break down a whole chicken, which will save you money. So let's get started. So here we have our whole chicken, and we're getting straight into it. We are cutting off the legs. So the key to cutting off the legs is you need to break that joint where the thigh connects to the spine, and you can easily slice through. So there we go, we've got one leg and our second leg. Okay, the breast is a little bit trickier. So there's like a bit that runs down the middle there, and once you find that little bit, you need to just sort of basically keep running the blade along, running the blade along, getting it all nice and loose until you come across the most annoying bone in the chicken, which is the wishbone. Which idiot put that there? So you kind of need to remove the wishbone, and then once you've got the wishbone removed, it's a lot easier to remove that breast. So yeah, you kind of keep slicing along that middly bit, and then you can eventually get rid of the breast. And then we have a couple of chicken wings that you can also cut off as well. So we've got a couple of free chicken wings, which come complimentary from the chicken, which is great. And then onto the thigh. So we are deboning the thighs. So deboning the thighs, you are basically just sort of cutting along where the bone is. And now preparing the breast for the for that burger. So we're kind of making it as thin as possible. So the main bulk of the breast is pretty thick. So we're kind of wanting to cut that in half, make that nice and thin. So we then have our deboned thighs, our sort of breast for grilling, and then the sort of cut off bits of the breast we're going to make into the patty. And we're also going to have 3 different flavorings. So we're going to have some spicy grilled chicken breast. So here we've got fresh green chilies, a bit of olive oil, and then some salt. Then we're going to go for a fajita themed chicken thigh burger. So we've got fajita spice, and then we're also going to add a bit of paprika to the grilled chicken, and making sure we are seasoning everything. And then those other ingredients are going to go for the chicken pate. So we've got a breadcrumbs. I love bread, it just kind of helps loosen everything up. We've got lots of herbs and spices and some garlic and a bit of lemon. So there we go, our 3 different types of chicken. So on to the grilling. So not only are the wings going to be a nice tasty treat, but they're a good way to kind of just get a bit of grease, a bit of fat onto your grill to make sure that the things that you don't want to stick are not going to stick. Especially like the pates and the breast could potentially stick, but not if you cover it in a bit of fat first. And that's why we're going with the thighs first. So the thighs have got a bit of fat in them and will definitely not stick. And then we've got our patties going in. So as soon as I got them down, I kind of don't want to wait too long on the grill. I want to sort of just move them around nice and quickly just to make sure that they haven't stuck, and they did not stick. So we could have made those a bit thinner, but again, the thinner you go, the more likely they are to break up, and I really don't want them to break up. So now we are just grilling. So we've got the pepper and onion there, so that's for the fajita themed burger for the thighs. So we're about 4 minutes in, as we saw from the timer, so it's always good to get a timer going. So about 4 minutes in, and the thighs are already cooking nicely, as are their homemade patties. So pretty regular flipping, and then also the lid going down. So this is a gas barbecue, as you've probably already guessed, so this makes cooking nice and easy. But you can also do this on a charcoal barbecue and it'll be no problem as well, or even in a frying pan if you can't be bothered to cook outside. All methods will work. So I'm kind of pressing it with the tongs quite a lot, so this is a good way to check if the chicken is cooked. If it feels quite firm and there's quite a lot of resistance to you patting it down, then it is most likely cooked. So we've got the thighs are out, and the thighs cooked in about 8-ish minutes, not too long. We're going to keep the patties on there just to make sure they're cooked all the way through, because they are reasonably thick. And then the breast is going on. So again, even though the patties are quite thick, there still is you can kind of feel the resistance in there. So once they're a bit firmer, then that's a very good indication that they are cooked. And then yeah, the chicken breast, grilled chicken breast is amazing, but that is the one that's probably the hardest to cook because you do not want it to, yeah, overcook. So that's why it's gone in last, because we really don't want to cook that for too long. So I'm now going to be checking the patty, and it was cooked. So it took about 10 to 12 minutes to cook. So yeah, you can use a meat thermometer to check. So yeah, you're aiming for an internal cooking temperature of 75 degrees, or if you cut it open and it feels hot, then you know that it's cooked. So yeah, the chicken breast is very close to being done. So yeah, the chicken breast, again, kind of maybe took about 8 minutes to cook. I did cut it open to have a look at it, to have a look at it. So once it's nice and white and the juices are running clear, you know that it is definitely not going to make you ill. And then you've got a bit of cheese added to the top of the burgers there for later. So there we go, we've got our cooked breast. Just going to turn the heat down. Yeah, the breast is now firming up, so we're just going to make sure that it's nicely cooked. Yeah, you really do not want to overcook the chicken breast. That is the biggest sin. Okay, now on to assembling the burger. So yeah, we're going to have 3 different recipes. So 3 different ways to cook it, but then we're also going to have 3 different burgers. So you can kind of mix and match however you like what's going on. So yeah, we've got different sauces, so ketchup and mustard, and then mayonnaise. So for our fajita burger, we've got the ketchup, the chicken thighs, grilled peppers, grilled onions. Then our pate, we have the pate on the ketchup, then we've got gherkins, and then some sliced tomatoes, and then yeah, mustard on the other bit. Then for the grilled chicken, it's just going to go on some coleslaw. So I love coleslaw on a burger. So just mayonnaise, coleslaw, and then the burger. Okay, let's get the tops back on. And it is time to enjoy them. And let's get them sliced open to see how juicy that chicken is. All right, expertly opened there, and it is a nice fat patty, but it was nice and juicy. Okay, on to the thighs. Okay, look at that shine, beautiful. And finally, the chicken breast. Perfect. Okay, I've got my burgers. So I'm gonna go for pate burger first. It's really good. Like the lemon and the herb and the garlic pate, really tasty. Love it. And then just the other classic burger things: ketchup, mustard, gherkins, tomato. Can't go wrong. Very good. Now we've got the coleslaw and the chicken breast with the chili spicing. Chicken cooked really well. Not that spicy in the end. But the coleslaw, I think, really works. Very good burger. And finally, I'm probably going to save the best till last one. I think will be the best. Chicken thighs. Fajita inspired with the roasted or grilled pepper and grilled onion. Very good. Yeah, this is my favourite. Chicken, I mean, just chicken thighs, yeah, they are the best cut. And easiest to cook. And yeah, it's very, very tasty. Honestly, all 3, perfect food. See you later.